The LG G2 was one of last year's critically acclaimed phones, but with rival companies having already filled shelves with outstanding handsets in 2014, LG has tried to get ahead of the pack by taking a step forward in screen technology with the LG G3. Add a removable battery, micro SD slot, metallic frame and new and more mature interface to the mix, and has LG created the perfect smartphone? The main talking point of the LG G3 is the QHD screen, which packed 4 times the pixels of a 720p display. How does it look in practice? The G3 has 538 ppi. That's equivalent to high-end glossy art books, which LG has used as a benchmark to aim for. Internet browsing, looking at pictures, watching HD video, it all looks awesome, but not as mind-blowing as we might have hoped. The LG G2 had a stunning screen, and it doesn't feel like LG is offering a huge deal more here in terms of overall quality. It's not without problems either. As expected, the hit on battery life is larger, and tilting the phone left or right makes brightness drop off sharply. All in all, it feels a bit like LG has gone too early with QHD just to make an impact. It just doesn't seem to add a huge amount to the G3 as a headline spec, which is a shame if you're hoping for the next generation of picture quality on a phone as we were. With the G3, LG has tried to go for the best of both worlds. A metallic looking skin that's meant to look and feel premium, while still offering lower weight and added connectivity benefits. Sadly, it hasn't quite pulled it off. The G3 certainly looks the business with its brushed metal appearance, but the moment you pick it up, the illusion is ruined. In some ways, it actually feels less premium than the LG G2 due to the removable backplate, which leaves the handset feeling a bit hollow. Of course, the upside is you've got a removable battery and micro SD slot, both of which are a big win for a lot of consumers. The biggest problem we had with the LG G2 was its cluttered, garish and generally childish interface. The G3 sees a big improvement. Gone are the cartoony looks in favour of a new, flat-tile look that screams high-end. We'd say it's somewhere halfway between Samsung's new TouchWiz and native Android 4.4, and visually it's a triumph for LG, bringing a new look that shows the company is taking steps towards becoming a top-tier manufacturer and leaving its cartoony heritage behind. With the Snapdragon 801 and up to 3 gigs of RAM on board, if you're buying the 32GB version, this is a phone that's up there with the best of them. Saying that, in day-to-day use, it's actually a little less impressive than expected. We found a distinct lag under the finger compared to the One M8 and iPhone 5S, which, although not huge, became quickly noticeable. It's definitely not deal-breaking, but we're confused as to why a company that prides itself on engineering would allow something like this to slip through. We also found some compatibility issues with certain apps. LG's knock on its back and better than ever, and knock code has also been added this time round. It's a clever system where you simply tap a pattern onto the screen to unlock it, working much in the same way as an unlock pattern. It tends to work better when the phone is lying down flat on the surface, but when it does work, it's second only to Apple's Touch ID in terms of intuitiveness and simplicity. The camera on the LG G3 is a pretty good affair, despite being largely similar to the LG G2. On the software side though, LG has stripped things back to make one of the most streamlined camera UIs we've seen on a phone. It's great for taking speedy snaps, but if you want more options, the G3 doesn't really offer much to play with. You can toggle HDR, panorama and dual shot mode, but that's about it. There's no way to change ISO settings, exposure or contrast, making it a camera with minimal interaction. The laser autofocus also needs a mention, which sends out a beam to check the room and leads to blisteringly fast focusing that notably outdoes the Galaxy S5. As for results, overall picture quality is good, with well-lit scenes giving beautifully sharp and well-defined images, and putting the LG G3 up there with the best of them in terms of day-to-day photography. With a 3000 mAh power pack, the battery on the LG G3 certainly is big enough. LG has done a brilliant job of getting the power efficiency of the handset to the absolute maximum, most of which you won't see going on under the hood in day-to-day use. But firing all those extra pixels comes at a cost. The G3 performed badly in our video rundown test, coming in even lower than the HTC One 2013 edition, which was one of the worst at running video at high brightness in terms of battery consumption. It's a big shame when the display isn't as outstanding as we'd hoped, but still, overall battery life is great, and when it comes down to it, this is what most people look for in a phone. The LG G3 is a smartphone trying to stay ahead of the game in an industry full of high-end devices, and one that shows the South Korean company knows it needs something special to compete with the best devices HTC, Samsung and Sony have to offer. It's supremely powerful and addresses nearly all the issues we had with the G2. So has LG created the ultimate smartphone? Not quite. The LG G3 is a great device. If you're after power and precision, then this is a winner. The screen, when used properly, is immense if not entirely mind-blowing, the camera is powerful and easy to use, and the battery life is solid. But its biggest selling point is also one of its biggest letdowns. Yes, the QHD screen looks great in perfect conditions, but that's really all there is to say about it. If you weren't looking for it, you'd just think it was a decent screen. Without it, the battery would last longer, lag might have been removed, and the phone could be made to sit in the hand more easily. The plastic shell doesn't feel great either, and the dimensions make the G3 more of a small phablet than a big smartphone, which will discourage many buyers. But if none of that bothers you, then the LG G3 is a highly accomplished device that drops the gimmicks to create one of the most powerful and impressive smartphones you can buy right now.